We got Martha Boneta with us. Let's get to the phone lines, and let's get to Peter in Pittsburgh. Peter, you're on the John Fredericks Radio Network 10-year anniversary. You're live.
Hey, John Frederick. Let me just say first off that I'm more than impressed. I can't believe what a super trooper you are with your program. But I can't even get over the criminality of everything where we are in January at this point, and that everyone's seemingly not, burning down the world because the only thing you can see is the criminality out of everything. And I'm really just stunned by it all. And I think that Georgia is just an obscenity before the Lord with all the candidates, with the entire state government. But I think Mark Levin said it best last night, that the people of Georgia have to get out and forget the stupid senatorial candidates and focus really just on, you're voting for Donald Trump again, and you're voting for the United States of America, because you cannot surrender the Senate to these animals, these socialists and the communists and the CCP. It's just not even an option. So if you gotta get yourself back into gear, tell yourself you're going to vote for Donald Trump a second time. I'm not going to vote for
you're right.
Purdue them.
You're
yeah,
right.
and so I just wanted to get to at this point. So maybe during the rest of your program today, you can get the point out to these people that you don't think about these two stupid candidates, and only think about that you're voting for Donald Trump again and for your country, because it's so in the balance. It's so in the balance. And I heard some woman just in the caravan that the bus tour that's going all over the United States, saying that she needs the Georgians to be able to vote for her to be able to have something to contest with. She needs to have that the actual the proof of the fraud that's then going to happen again, worse than it already happened. And so for that, she needs the discrepancy of the votes.
It's an incredible scenario, isn't it? Right? It's an incredible scenario. Peter, thank you. Thank you. But Peter's right, Martha. It's like you have to go out and vote. You have to go out and vote for these two candidates, and almost think you're voting for Trump, right, as pathetic as they are.
And for your nation, because we have two candidates that, quite frankly, are disappointing, to say the least. One of them is in hiding, and the other one comes across as being flighty. But I want everybody that's listening to go out. When you go out and vote, you're voting for our nation. You're voting for Donald J. Trump. Forget the candidates. Get out and vote. I mean, everything is on the line. Literally everything.
Well, we need 1 million votes.
Yes.
We need 1 million turnout tomorrow, and typically, if you look at November 3rd, Trump got 64% of the Georgia game day turnout, or 65%, something of that nature. But under 1 million, he's going to lose, because right now I estimate they're down by $1.65 going into game day. That's 165,000. Plus, you don't know how many more mail-in ballots come in at midnight in Fulton County. So you add in another 35,000 that they steal. You got 200,000 that you're down by.
That's right.
So under 1 million. I mean, if you get 1 million out and you get 60%, you get 600,000. They get 4. You can win in a squeaker. Unlike if there's a 700,000 turnout tomorrow, they're dead. Let's go to Patrick in Fort Lauderdale. Patrick, you're on with John and Martha.
John, good morning. I want to tell you what an effect you're having in your show, and here's the reason. Last week I had spoken to you about a friend of mine who was very high up near Mike Braun in Indiana. Called him a coward and a fraud for Braun not standing up. Told him to listen to your show. A few days later, Mike Braun signs on with Ted Cruz. I don't know what kind of effect that had, but it must be one hell of a coincidence when they heard the rage of people calling in on your show.
Well, thank you, Patrick. Look, that's why we're here.
That's right.
I mean, we're the sounding board for the deplorables. We're the conduit. We're the lightning rod. We give you a voice where you were voiceless, and then you take that and you leverage it, and you contact your representatives en masse, and then, a lot of these representatives, Martha, have never heard the kind of feedback they're
That's
getting
exactly right.
right now. They've just never heard it. And so, like, when I posted, I just want to tell you this story, Patrick. A lot of people asked me to post the names of the senators, the state senators in Georgia that did not sign the petition that Brandon Beach had. Will be with us at 9:35 today. And I put it on my Facebook page, all right? I mean, it took me a while because I don't like doing that, but I did it. I thought it was the right thing to do, but I did think about it for 3 weeks. So I finally did it, and those that didn't sign it got deluged with calls. And so here was the excuses. There were 2 of them, 2 big ones. Number 1 was, well, there was never a petition that went around for me to sign. Excuse me? You were asked to sign it, you didn't. Second one was, well, it didn't matter. We needed 3/5. Okay, so everybody that emailed me and said that was a response, I said, email or call your senator back and say, okay, there's a petition now. Are you going to sign it? Yes or no? That should end it. If you're going to sign it, then I'll take your name off. If you're not, then it's just mealy-mouthed nonsense, which people are tired of, Martha.
Absolutely tired of it. I mean, one thing that this president has done that I think you agree with and all of your listeners agree with is that, we finally have a president with a backbone. Who's not afraid to shake up the system. And what we're doing is we're calling out the squishes. Those that we elect to office, they don't deliver. This president promises made, promises delivered time and time again. And here we have these weak people that we lift up into office, and they don't deliver on their promises, and they let us down. And the American people are not going to stand for it anymore. They've just had it. And here we are. This election is the most important election. So much is on the line. We have to hold the Senate. We need everybody out there voting. And we're not going to put up or tolerate those that we put into office that aren't delivering. Isn't that right?
Patrick, you got the final word here.
I completely agree. Unfortunately, these weak-kneed sissies that we put into office, they're just part of the DNC. I think President Trump needs to go scorched earth, and I had said this to you before, at that rally, and just say you're voting for me. Those 2 may vote for us sometimes, but we know the other 2 will vote against us all the time. You got to show up for me, and he's got to bring it.
I agree with that.
Wise words.
Wise words.
Not
definitely.
No rallies. He's got to bring it.
I agree. John Fredericks Radio Network, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. I've got a couple texts here I want to read. Jeremy in Chesapeake says, if Georgians vote for the Dems, then they are voting for Biden and his son's corruption. I agree with that.
Agreed.
Martha. Leon, I don't know where you're from, Leon. Leon Santiago says, we can hear the... Okay, that was from earlier, Leon. I got that straightened out. But thank you for that feedback. And Lauren in Atlanta says Perdue is like Biden, hiding in the basement. He didn't show up to his own debate several weeks ago, and now he doesn't want to be held accountable. So that's why he's in self-quarantine. The real reason he's in self-quarantine is because he doesn't want to go to the rally tonight,
right.
Martha, and get heckled off the stage.
And get heckled.
Right.
Yeah, this is outrageous. This is outrageous. I mean, that your listener that wrote in and said he's just like Biden hiding in the basement is absolutely correct. Where's Perdue? Where is he right now? Where is he? He's in his basement hiding.
Unbelievable. You got 5 days to go to a campaign, and it would be one thing if he tested positive. Okay,
that's right.
I get it. You got to quarantine.
That's right.
He tested negative.
That's right.
So if you test negative, why are you quarantining?
That's right.
I mean, what?
We're in the fight of our lives, and where are you? You're absent. You're missing.
You're in your basement
you're
in Saint
right.
Simon's Island in
That's
your
right.
double gated community.
That's exactly right.
I mean, is it? People are done with this. I'm telling you, Martha, the movement, the deplorables movement, the America First movement. We're done with this. We're too smart. Does he think we're stupid?
Right.
Oh, I'm going to go in quarantine so I don't have to go to Dalton, so I don't have to go to the rally, so I don't have to get heckled
so he
and
doesn't
booed
get
off the
embarrassed
stage.
and booed off
So
the
he doesn't
stage.
get embarrassed.
Unbelievable. Meanwhile, the American people, we're in the fight of our lives, and Perdue is missing in action. Now, having said that, everybody that's listening, I'm not saying don't vote for Perdue. I'm saying when you cast your vote here in Georgia, you are casting your vote for America. When you cast your vote for Perdue and for Kelly, that's what you're doing.
You're voting for Trump.
And you're voting for Donald J. Trump. That's
right.
who you're voting for.
That was a good caller we had earlier.
Yes,
that said
absolutely.
That. So much you got to go in and shut your eyes and say I'm voting for Trump. Because if Trump does get inaugurated, you're going to need a Senate. If he doesn't get inaugurated, it's a disaster. I still think he's got a shot.
Yeah.
And by the way, let's cut the nonsense out. Can we, with this phone call? Can we do that? Because the phone call that was played in the Washington Post and all over the news yesterday. Let me just sum this up, okay? Despite the partisan nonsense you heard from the weasel Raffensperger, who, by the way, taped the call and released it to the Post. What a POS.
Who secretly tapes the President of the United States, then leaks it? I mean, it's so egregious. It's so outrageous. Nobody likes a rat. And that is a deceptive thing to do, to secretly tape the President of the United States. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. It is horrific behavior. And, the American people are not stupid. They see it for what it is.
The president made no such demand to change votes. The president and the president was specific in his calls, and in fact, he began the call by ripping through specifics that were never addressed by Raffensperger, the establishment Republicans. He stated, let me just read you some of the transcript. Mm-hmm. He stated, we have at least 2 or 3, anywhere from 250,000 to 300,000 ballots were dropped mysteriously into the rolls. Much of that had to do with Fulton County, which hasn't been checked. We think that if you check the signatures, a real check of the signatures going back to Fulton County, you'll find that at least a couple 100,000 of forged signatures of people who have been forged. What is wrong with that? He has a right to say that. Number 2, he continues, we had, I believe it's about 4,500 voters who voted but who weren't on the voter registration list. So it's 4,502 who voted, but they weren't on the voter registration roll, which they had to be. You had 18,325 vacant address voters. The address was vacant, and they're not allowed to be counted. That's 18,325. And the president went on. You had out-of-state voters. They voted in Georgia, but they went from out-of-state. That's 5,000. You had, or 4,925. You had exact numbers. You had absentee ballots sent to vacant. They were absentee ballots sent to vacant addresses. They had nothing on them but addresses, no name. That's 2,326. I mean, the level of granularity was actually remarkable, especially for a president that the media says has no attention to detail. You had all the detail there. Raffensperger never answered any of them.
No, of course not, because he was secretly taping the call. The whole thing was a setup. It's outrageous, and I think that isn't it interesting? The call is released now. The Washington Post gets their hands on it. When they originally released the call, they only released portions of it, melted it all together. Do you remember that?
Right.
And then, of course, now the whole transcript is out.
Right. Well, the first release they did was anything they could have misconstrued that Trump said, anything they could have spun, anything that was taken out of context.
That's right.
Now that you get the entire transcript and you read it like I did last night before I went to bed, it's a joke. He didn't do anything.
That's exactly right.
I mean, it's like it was almost like the Ukrainian call is a perfect phone call. He's got a right to call the Secretary of State up and ask for answers.
He absolutely has a right to do
of which Raffensperger gave none.
That's right.
Now there's a hearing. There's a hearing today at 11 o'clock. Garland Favorino is going to be with us live here in Atlanta. We're at the Grand Hyatt in Buckhead, which is going to be where our big event is tomorrow night. Garland Favorino is going to be with us live. Garland has a hearing today at 11 a.m. In that hearing, he is asking for a judge in Fulton County to allow a forensic analysis of all of the Fulton County mail-in ballots, all of them, right? If he's granted that, now they might say no, but I don't think so. If he's granted that, he's going to come in and do a forensic analysis. Now, they can't match them to the envelopes. Those are done. But they're going to inspect the ballots. They're going to scan them to be sure the scanning's right. But then they're going to inspect the ballots. And remember, we had this 10,000 or so, I think it was 10 or 15,000 ballots that Susie Voiles, one of the election officials, were saying were never folded. They were pristine, only had Biden on it, looked like they ran through a machine, didn't look like they were inked. Those are going to be analyzed. I got to tell you, if those come back and the forensic analysis says they're fraudulent ballots, Trump's going to get inaugurated.
I agree. 100%.
The whole thing falls like a house of cards.
100%. We have a right to fight for election integrity. We have a right to fight to make sure that these fake, fraudulent votes are thrown out. That is our right as American people. That is our right to have a valid election. and not we're sitting here watching the election being stolen.
Unbelievable. 10-year anniversary of the John Fredericks Radio Network. Martha Boneta with me live here in Atlanta. She'll be here for, I guess, 3 days. You'll be
Yes,
with me, right?
that's
Tuesday,
absolutely
Monday,
right.
Celebrating our 10-year anniversary. Thanks for coming.
I remember John Fredericks from way back when, and can I just tell you, even before the movement started, you were bringing real, authentic news. You know, the fake news has been around forever. It didn't just suddenly miraculously happen that the American people are aware of the fake news that's out there. You, John Fredericks, have been bringing unbiased truth to the American people for a decade, 1 decade. And you heard that caller. You are making a difference every single day. American people are hearing your voice. They're sick and tired of the fake news network, and you're bringing them the truth every single day.
You know, thank you for that, Martha, and you've been a big part of it. You've believed in our show forever, and thank you.
And I want our listeners to support your network, because I want them to go to your website. I want them to donate, because you're bringing authentic, real news. And as you said, you're giving a voice to the American people that have been silenced before.
Right.
And I want the listeners to donate. I want them to go online, click the button, donate what you can, support this incredible network that has grown. Where are you now? You are all over. You are growing by leaps and bounds. People are hearing you all over the country, and it's really exciting. You're buying another network here in another station here in Atlanta, and the American people are craving your voice. And I predicted a long time ago that, and I've said this, and I'm going to say it again. I think you are the next Rush Limbaugh. I'd like to see you with your own TV show. I know I've said that before. You've heard me say that before, and I'd like to see that happen. And so I'm just thrilled to be a part of it, and incredibly grateful for the voice you give so many hardworking Americans that feel like they've been silenced, because the bad guys out there want to silence people that love our country. They want to silence those of us that support our President Donald J. Trump, and you've given so many a voice.
Well, thank you, Martha, and I really appreciate that, and appreciate my team and my staff for all they've done. And thank you. I was Christine Bauserman is with us this week doing our operation. She's running our live event on Tuesday, so she was helping me set up here and getting everything set. And while we were doing that, I was watching the Titans game with my family, but I couldn't get it here on TV, so they were Facebook Living it. So we were on the phone. Joseph, Ann, and I were on the phone with Facebook Live, where they're like screening the TV, and Christine said to me, "Why are you here? Why aren't you home with your family?" Right? I mean, you could be watching the game with
That's
them.
right.
Right? So, but you do what you got to do. It's like when we decided to buy this station here, make any sense for our age. I'm going to be 63 in March. We should be winding down. And finally, Ann said, "You know what? If not us, who?"
That's right. If not us, who? That's
If
exactly
not us,
right.
who? And of course, if not now, when?
When?
John Fredericks Radio Network.